Good evening. In the last 2 weeks, there have been headlines throughout Britain about 3 generations of a family who were bludgeoned to death at their home in Swansea. Mandy Power was 34, her older daughter Katie was 10, Emily was 8. Mandy's mother, Doris Dawson, was 80, and her injuries were so terrible she was unrecognisable. Detective Superintendent Martin Lloyd-Evans says he and his colleagues have never seen anything like it, and tonight he's turning to us for help, or rather, he's turning to you. Now, somebody plainly had a terrible anger against that family.
Well, this is one of the worst crimes, certainly in recent Welsh history, if not the whole history of Great Britain. It's very important to remember the day. It was Saturday, the 26th of June. It's the day when Wales played South Africa. The killer must be heavily blood-stained, so I'd ask people, did their partner come home this particular night? Did they come home late, perhaps blood-stained? Did they come home perhaps in different clothing? Did they spend maybe an extra time in the bathroom this night? We need to really hear from these people.
It's very, very difficult for somebody to call into this programme tonight on a vague suspicion. Somebody didn't come home in the Swansea area on Saturday night. Somebody had some blood on him, but he said he got into a fight or he cut himself or whatever.
Well, there possibly will be a change within this person. It may well be perhaps in the past that this person has been speaking about Mandy, this sort of thing, and now they've stopped talking about them. In fact, maybe they're missing clothes. They had clothes that went out on the night, have come back, the clothes are now missing.
So you think this might be somebody who had expressed a dislike of Mandy in the past? Certainly a possibility, I suppose.
Always a possibility, yes.
And maybe would not be doing so now. He would have changed in some way, you think, in the last 2 weeks. OK, well, this is ferocious violence. The biggest hope, as you've heard, is that someone is going to call in tonight with a name. And if you've got any suspicions, please do. But we also need to pin down sightings and either turn those into evidence or firmly eliminate them from the inquiry. What follows really is directed at people who were in Clydach that Saturday night 2 weeks ago.
First, a diesel car dropped someone off in Kelvin Road sometime after 12:45 a.m. Maybe it was an unlicensed taxi, though the police are only interested in eliminating it from the murder inquiry. Then at 2:30 a.m, a man and a woman were walking down towards Vardry Road. Almost certainly they were local residents. Around the same time, 2:30 a.m, the same witness saw a man walking briskly up Gethley-Onan Road, carrying something under his arm. Police don't care what that bundle was if they can rule it out of the murder inquiry. The man was in his 30s. And who was having an argument at about 3 a.m. near Mandy's house in Kelvin Road? Could that have been you?
Martin, you have been emphatic that if people come forward with information and are not directly connected with the crime, you're offering them, well, you don't use the word immunity. I know it's very difficult for police officers to use for legal reasons, but that's in effect what you're saying.
Yes, I think there's a number of issues here. First, we need to eliminate the people that, the couple that were walking up the road, the man carrying something beneath his arm, but in particular the driver of this vehicle, this diesel vehicle. Now, if that person is listening, if all you did was merely take somebody to the scene and drop them off there, you didn't do anything else or know anything more about this crime, then please come forward.
So, as long as he wasn't involved in some sort of conspiracy, as far as you're concerned, all you need to know is who he was.
Exactly right.
It's very, very difficult, I was saying earlier, for people to come forward with suspicions, you know. I mean, people can't believe it of people they know, that anybody could do something this terrible. It's going to be, I mean, how can you persuade people to just ring in tonight on a suspicion? This
was a really horrendous crime. I can't describe the terrible scene that we saw this particular night. Now, somebody must suspect something. And please, don't keep it yourself. You can't have this on your conscience. Come forward and help us.
Well, there certainly can't be any reason on earth to protect whoever did this. And as you've heard, police are adamant. They're not going to prosecute anyone for a minor offence who calls in with help. Whatever you know, whatever you suspect, please call us and do so right away. You know Crimewatch has been successful before by asking people to search their conscience and their memory. It's a free call number, 0500 600 600. The incident room in Swansea is on 01792 562 731. That's Swansea 562 731. Well, now 2 rather stupid robbers, and vicious too, as you'll see. In an almost theatrical series of events, they armed themselves with a revolver and a 9mm automatic pistol, and they set out to steal some money. It happened at Sainsbury's in Burpham near Guildford in Surrey on a Tuesday afternoon a month ago. Helped catch these two, incidentally, and you can earn a £12,000 reward.
Some people think that security work is very boring, but if you keep your eyes open, you'll see a lot of things and you'll be able to deal with a lot of situations. It was generally a quiet day, a couple of deters from shoplifters. Nothing to shout about.
So I said to her, next time I come round, why don't we reverse the roles so you can unload me? Not bad. What's he say to that then?
I'd arranged to meet my girlfriend in the car park opposite the entrance to Sainsbury's, and I was sat waiting when a man walked past me. And I noticed him because he came so close to me. He was walking in a kind of Jack the Lad sort of way. Anyway, he went over to this other man who was waiting in a car, and he put his arm out and pointed at me. He was using his forefinger and hand in the shape of a gun. It didn't worry me. I just thought it was a joke between the two men. And then my girlfriend arrived.
Oh yes.
And I saw this band.
Oslo's in Norway.
Control to 293.
You were in Stockholm. 293, yeah, go ahead, Control.
Control to 293. Can you give me an ETA for Burton Sainsbury's?
What do you think?
15 minutes?
293, about 15 minutes, Control, over.
Yeah, that's 293, thank you.
Well, I bet you. A fiver. So you won't even be working today.
Oh, you wouldn't be saying if you were doing the drop, would you?
Give me the box, give me the money! Give me the money! Give me more, I want more!
That's all there isn't any more.
I know you've got more.
No, I tell you.
Come on, give me the money! There's no more in there, there always is!
No.
What's up, mate? Any problems? Nah, nothing really. There were a couple of girls earlier on I had to keep an eye on, but it's all pretty quiet now.
He was about 30, had a round, fattish face with a ruddy, weathered look as though he worked out of doors.
I can have you, Arm, I can have you! There's loads more in there, I know! Open up, open up! I can't, it's throw all the money up now, throw it out! It's locked up! On the floor! On the floor! I'll kill you! Flat!
You gonna be at Sainsbury's all week?
No, just until Thursday. Then I've got a couple of days off.
Oh, you lucky boy.
I think they need you at the front and at the ATM machines.
We have security to ATM. Security to ATM.
Excuse me!
I didn't have in my mind to actually catch them and bring them back, but more to get in contact with the police, give them more of a chance of catching them.
Please? Oh, come on. Please? Yeah, it's security at Sainsbury's in Bourbon. Please, I need the police now. There's been a robbery. Right, just come at the back of Sainsbury's. They crossed London Road. There's two of them. One's got a red baseball cap, the other one's got a crash helmet. They're heading towards...
I was shocked to find a small Nissan Micra with no one in the driver's seat. They seemed to be fumbling at the doors, and for a second it was slightly comical.
I'm sorry. I didn't see anything, all right? Please, I didn't see anything.
And at that point, I thought we didn't want any witnesses, and I thought my time is up.
Jesus! You stupid idiot! Ambulance! Get me an ambulance, quick! You've got to get me an ambulance, I've just been shot! They're making the getaway to Silver Nissan Mazda! Kilo 712 Lima Mike Kilo!
London Road, Guildford, around 2:30 on a Tuesday afternoon about a month ago. The Micra had been stolen from Essex at the end of April. The Micra was abandoned off Woodruff Avenue in front of George Abbott's school. Did you see the men emerge in Merrow Woods? The day before, 2 cars similar to these were parked there. One was perhaps the stolen Micra. Whose was the dark blue saloon?
Kevin, there's that blue saloon you want to trace. You don't need more witnesses to the event, though. You've got stacks of those. So how else can viewers help?
Well, this was a violent attack which has left the security guard permanently disabled. There is the vehicle being stolen from the Essex area. Now, that was stolen on the 28th of April. I'd like to know, where was that vehicle parked during that 6-week period?
Now, you think it was parked on the road, don't you? Because they'd gone to the bother not just of making these plates, but they'd actually got a tax disc for it as well.
That's right, they forged the false number plates.
So what you want to know is who made this up. It says Trade Cars at the bottom. K712LMK. Who made those up? These guys really are likely to get into some trouble, aren't they, with their own fraternity? A lot of people will have heard about this, and a lot of villains won't like shooting someone in cold blood like that.
That's right, the attack, they were very calm during the attack and almost enjoyed shooting the guard. I appeal for anybody who has information. There is a £12,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction, and any calls will be taken in strictest confidence.
Okay, so you can do that anonymously if you want to still get that reward. Please call us if you can help. As you heard, it's £12,000 if you can help get a conviction of these men. And these guys are pretty crazy, shooting someone like that, and a courageous man in cold blood. Please help find them before someone else is shot and maybe killed. 0500 600 600 or the incident room on 01 483 482299. That's Guildford 482299.
Now 2 women, both fraudsters, one with a card and chequebook stolen from a hospital, the other with travellers' cheques grabbed in a series of vicious armed robberies. First, this one in a furry hat, shown here in Loughborough, Leicestershire. She's in her 30s and fairly small at 5'3". She may be from Staffordshire because some of the cheques were presented there as well. If you know anything, 0500 600 600, or please call the incident room on 0116 248 4022. That's Leicester 248 4022.
Then there's this blonde who may be involved in over 60 crimes. She's said to be attractive, 5'4", early 20s, and there may be a tattoo on her left shoulder. Now, she might have connections with a violent gang in the northeast of England and the Midlands. Please call the incident room on 01623 401 661. That's Mansfield. 401 661. Or on either case, you can call us here in the studio on 0500 600 600.
More revelations as a direct result of Crimewatch. Jojo Maloney was wanted after a schoolgirl was raped in Yorkshire. A number of viewers called in from Letterkenny in County Donegal. And next day, Joseph Maloney, who'd seen himself on Crimewatch, agreed to go back to Leeds and gave himself up. He put his victim through a second ordeal, though, accusing her of making up the rape. But he's been convicted and sentenced to 8 years.
There's no real news on the inquiry into Jill Dando's death, but no news is not necessarily bad news. And as soon as there's any real progress to divulge, we will, of course, tell you all we can. Now to Devon. In Plymouth, there have been sex attacks which detectives think are by the same man. His first attack, at least the first we know about, was opportunist, but another seemed planned. There may be other girls or women who've been molested or even raped, and there may be lots of people in the Plymouth area who tonight can help to name him.
Union Street is just basically one long street, and you've got pubs and clubs, and get a fair lot of youngsters there.
It's a lively, happening place where people go to socialise. I went with my friends, I had a drink, a few drinks. I was quite drunk.
Harley, wait up! Wait up, Harley, will you? What do I want to wait up for you for? Look at the state of you! You're no fun, are you? Leave me alone, Lisa. Oi! Are you deaf or what? I asked you to leave me alone. Don't, Polly. Don't what? Look at the state of you. What are you like, eh? Stop it. Don't go on. I didn't mean to get Well, you did. I can't stand to see you like this. Polly. Just go home, Lisa. And next time you want to go out for a good night, don't phone me. All right?
I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where I was going. I felt lonely and scared. But then somebody came and started talking to me.
Are you all right?
And just sounded quite friendly.
Can I help you find a taxi? Get you home?
I thought that this person was just gonna try and help me because I didn't know what I was doing. I just trusted him.
He ushered her towards the forecourt of a car showroom with which he seemed to be familiar. In fact, it's frequently used by prostitutes and their clients.
You all right?
Maybe local prostitutes will have suspicions about who he was.
It's not far now.
I just thought that I would be going home and everything would be okay. He had a deep voice. He was medium height. He was a medium build. I just want to know why someone would do something like this and how they think that they can get away with it.
Now we go forward a year and a half to a Friday night 2 months ago. Another rape, another victim.
A load of us went out that evening, and we go out generally most weekends, just basically having a good old chat and a dance and a couple of drinks, and enjoyed ourselves. It's just a normal night. I was sort of seeing somebody at the time, and he was in there, and I'd noticed that he had gone. Just wondered, I didn't say bye or anything. So I went to the phone box to ring him up.
Where'd you get to then? Well, why didn't you tell me you were leaving? Shall I come over? See you in a bit.
I realised I had no money to get a taxi home, so I thought I'd walk because I've walked it before. It was a nice walk, actually. I'd say it was about a 20-minute walk, something like that, not too far away. As I crossed over the road, I looked up and I saw this man walking down towards me. I didn't think anything of it, so I just carried on walking. As he got closer to me, his head was slightly down. He had a baseball cap on, as if he didn't want me to see him, which I thought was a bit sus, but I just assumed we'd pass each other on the street.
Excuse me? Have you got a cigarette?
Yeah.
Have you got a light?
And then he had walked to the side of me, and I turned around. I thought he just walked off, but he didn't actually come behind me. And that's when he then wrapped his arm around my throat and put a knife to me. He was very calm and friendly towards me, and that's what I couldn't get. He was being nice, and it was making me sick.
Just calm down. Calm down. Everything's going to be all right. I just want 1 minute of your time, that's all.
But my mum's ill. She's ill and she'll be waiting up
Just
for
calm
me.
down. Calm down.
I think that's what made me cry even more, was what if I never see my mum again? Because the last time I spoke to her, we had an argument. After he raped me, I turned around to ask him,
Can I go now?
Right. But keep to the hedge. Don't look back. And don't go to the police. I know where you live.
It sounds strange, but I became slightly happy. Because I thought now I can go to my boyfriend's house and phone the police straight away. I would love for him to sit back and think about what he's done to me. Think about how miserable he's made my life. And just think, I'm 18 years of age. A lot of friends don't talk to me since this has happened because they don't know how. They don't know how to talk to me, so they just don't talk to me whatsoever.
Ken, you think there are other victims too, don't you?
Yes, there could be victims that we're not aware of. This individual approaches women who are vulnerable, he befriends them, and it could be that in those circumstances he's picked on other women who have not made a complaint to the police.
The worry there is, of course, is that here perhaps girls who've blamed themselves for what's happened, said I was drunk, therefore it was my fault, even though they'd been raped.
Yeah, sure. I think girls could come up with many reasons why they may not come forward with a complaint, thinking that it may not be taken seriously, but I can assure them that it will.
And it's really important to your inquiry that they do?
Of course, yes.
He seems to go for quite petite girls. Does that suggest that if he's got a girlfriend, she's likely to be relatively small?
It could be. It could be that his girlfriend is young, blonde and short, and, as you say, quite petite.
He had glasses in the Christmas '97 attack, didn't in the subsequent one, don't know why that. The e-fit that we've got of him, what's the best description you've got of this man?
The description is that he's around 30 to 40 years of age. He's 5'7", 5'8".
He was wearing, possibly, this jacket. This is a replica of one that you recovered from the Tamar, from the river, that had been thrown in. And this is very, very similar with this, Musto label, to one that one of the victim earlier this month in May, said that he was wearing.
She's had a look at it. She says it's very similar to that particular jacket, and we're interested in finding out whether or not it's linked to our offence or whether it legitimately came to be in the river for another reason.
Okay. And do you think that this is a local man?
We think it's either a local man or a man who's got local connections. So I would ask everybody to question themselves as to whether or not they know a man who's since the 22nd of May not been wearing clothing similar to this shown in the CD today.
Well, you've heard he's almost certainly a local man, or he has strong local connections to the area. If you live in Plymouth, please put a name to him. 0500 600 600 or 01752 790 481. That's Plymouth 790 481.
Earlier this year, a substantial haul was recovered from a lock-up garage in Camberley, Surrey. There were counterfeit US dollars, drug-making equipment and a large stash of amphetamine-type powder and pills. Even more worryingly, there was also a handgun with 50 rounds of ammunition. Now, this man disappeared soon afterwards from his home in Farnborough, Hampshire, and we're keen to ask him about the lock-up. He's Gerard Murphy, often known as Jed. He's 5'10", stocky as you can see, with a dark complexion and blue eyes. He has links to Birmingham and Manchester. Call us if you've seen him on 0500 600 600 or 0118 918 1861. That's Reading 918 1861.
Dozens of people have been terrorised by an armed robber in the south of England in the last 5 years. He's been holding up travel agents and betting shops, threatening staff with a handgun, and then, and this is very unusual, he handcuffs them. This man may have useful information. Ian Bernard Phelps is 32, 5'11", with brown hair, and he may have grown a beard recently. He has several tattoos, including a caterpillar on his left earlobe and an eagle on his right arm. Although he has a strong Glaswegian accent, he sometimes pretends he's Irish. That's Ian Bernard Phelps, and a substantial reward is available on this case. 0500 600 600 or 01703 745 390. That's Southampton 745 390.
Just over a year and a half ago, 22-year-old Donna Buxton was killed when her car collided head-on with a lorry on the A53 Leek to Buxton Road in Derbyshire. Witnesses say she was forced into the path of the lorry by a red Ford Escort that was overtaking recklessly. It was on the wrong side of the road, in fact, the wrong side of double white lines. An old Type Mark III red Escort was seen being driven erratically in two separate events, both before and after the collision. After the crash, it stopped for a short time and then sped away. Tonight, we want to find that driver. This could be an impression of her. We hope, whoever it was, she will call in of her own accord. This is Donna's mother, Tila Bailey. Tila, whatever happened, as far as the coroner was concerned, this wasn't an accident. He recorded a verdict of unlawful killing.
It was, yes. Donna, by her swift actions, saved this woman's life, enabling her to escape.
That's a terrible tragedy and a terrible irony. She saved the woman who effectively killed her.
Killed her, yes.
It's been, what, 20 months, and the woman, perhaps she's confided with friends, in which case neither she nor the friends have come forward, and I suspect they're going to find every excuse they can not to ring in tonight. Is it going to really solve anything if they do?
Well, yes, she has to. She has to ring in with... She has to come forward. She has to live with this daily like we do. I lost a daughter through this. She has to come forward.
Mark, she didn't mean to kill when she set out that day?
No, Nick, obviously we don't for one moment believe that she set out that morning with the intention to kill somebody. If the lady and any of her friends would contact us, Staffordshire Police will be most sympathetic towards it. And until that time, the case will remain open.
You're determined you're going to solve this?
We certainly are, yes.
One way or another. Look, neither Tila nor PC Mark Rush, and you've heard, are going to give up on this. If it's you, or if you think you know who it was, tonight is the chance to set things right, please. The car, let me remind you, it was a red, ex-registered Mark III Escort. Please don't ring us about cars all over the country. We don't need to find the car so much as we need to find the driver. And incidentally, there's a substantial reward. 0500 600 600 or call 01 785 232 022. That's Stafford 232 022. Stalking is a terrifying crime, but a small gang has turned it into a truly evil behaviour, combining it with menaces and robbery. They've been targeting anyone they thought had money, jewellery or an expensive car, and they've used a gun and a sword or machete. One victim almost had his arm cut through.
The gang seems to centre on Park Lane in London's West End. 2 months ago, a couple drove up from the country to go shopping in Bond Street and to have a favourite piece of jewellery repaired. Then, after a drink at the Hilton, they collected their car from Park Lane and set off home. As they left London on the A4, they saw a petrol station and cut across 3 lanes of traffic to fill up. Were they being followed? The CCTV, which shows them at the petrol pumps, also reveals a blue Volkswagen Lupo pulling up onto the forecourt, but it had come in through the exit. Was this you, facing the wrong way 8 weeks ago near the Hogarth roundabout? Or had the gang been caught out by the Merc driver's sudden turn through traffic? At any rate, the blue Volkswagen left without buying anything, directly behind the Mercedes. The couple didn't notice anyone behind them, but maybe you recall a distinctive blue Volkswagen driving erratically behind this silver Mercedes down the M3 or A30. Just after 9:30, the couple pulled into Virginia Water and went to a restaurant in Station Approach. Did you see anyone hanging around, especially 2 young men who seemed overdressed for the warm weather? One was described as young-looking with smooth skin, 19 or 20 years old, possibly Asian or mixed race, 5'7" and slim with a narrow face and a long nose. His companion was older and taller, maybe mid-20s, 5'9" and slim with a trim moustache. He seemed black or Asian. It's possible they waited nearby in the blue VW while the couple had their meal.
Oh, if you scream, I'll blow your brains out.
Get out! Give me the fucking keys!
Give me everything you've got!
Give me the keys and get that watch off!
The watch, the one that had just been repaired, was a Patek Philippe, a 40th birthday present.
Give me your cards, empty your pockets.
Oh, please, no, that was my grandmother's, no.
Fuck off. What's the PIN number?
I don't know.
You'll have this if you don't tell me.
I honestly don't know. Look, you've got a £15,000 watch, so take everything we've got and leave us alone.
The robbers were unfamiliar with the Mercedes, and they pressed the boot release button as they tried to drive away. They went back towards the A30. Did you see them stop anywhere to close the boot? And maybe there was a third member of the gang who followed in their own car. A week later, again a Thursday, and a woman had driven from a lunch date near Park Lane to her flat in Chelsea.
Don't mess with me, lady. You get hurt if you mess with me.
Get that ring off. Give me that bracelet. Give me that watch.
Give me the bag. Give me the bag.
Don't scream, you're gonna get hurt.
As in the earlier attack, one of the robbers was young and had a long, thin face with clear skin. He had sticking out ears, and his voice was described as high-pitched.
You're not taking my car keys, are you? Why are you taking my car keys?
Which ones do you use? Don't mess with me, lady.
That's the credit card, that's the cash card.
What's the PIN number?
Don't mess with him!
4711.
The other man was older, of a heavier build and darker complexion. Once again, they were after the car. Then 2 weeks later, a Wednesday night at the Park Lane Hilton.
It was a charity event to raise money for Sports Aid. The evening was not about rich people at all. It was very much people with interest in sport. We arranged to meet a local minicab driver from Beaconsfield at around midnight and to take us home. So we arranged to meet him just outside the Hilton.
As the minicab drove down the Bayswater Road towards the M40, the driver became suspicious about a Volvo that kept coming up behind him.
I see this car looming around in my back of my mirror, and I just thought it was strange if it was following me or following somebody else. The Volvo was passing me and I looked over and I just see these faces looking back suspicious, and then I glanced back again and then they just carried on.
On the journey home, my wife and myself just talked about what an enjoyable evening we had had and how actually we were looking forward to getting home to bed. I started to get some bags and my briefcase out of the back of the car, and then suddenly a car with its lights full on drew up behind me.
It's on account, isn't it?
I thought it was actually police or somebody just coming to see what was going on. I turned around and 3 men got out of the car.
Give me that necklace or I'll hurt you, lady! Stay away from her! Stay away
I don't have any real experience of how to fight somebody off, but I guess instinct takes over.
You can have the necklace, it's a fake anyway! Get it off! She's called the police!
Get the necklace!
You alright?
Somebody call an ambulance.
I didn't realise that actually I'd been hurt quite so badly until I sort of heard something, and that was blood running out of my arm onto the concrete below me. That sent probably the first panic through me, and I guess sort of the early stages of shock that I'd actually been injured quite badly. The irony of the jewellery that the robbers were going for was worth £20 bought from a local store, so they really essentially went away empty-handed.
Chasing people in cars like that, I mean, this is heavy even by London Underworld standards.
I think it's particularly out of order, Nick, and what's concerning me is the escalation in violence. The victim we saw in Beaconsfield there was seriously hurt and could well have been killed had it not been for his mobile phone deflecting a blow from the machete used.
You think it was a weapon pretty much like this?
That's very similar to what the witnesses have described, yes, Nick.
Now, one of the things they stole was a Patek Philippe watch, very similar to this, except the one that was stolen had rather fine horizontal lines across it. All of these, of course, are not only rare, but they've got serial numbers on them.
That's right, the cases are stamped individually.
And this, which is very, very identifiable. Any jeweller would recognise that one if it was presented.
That's right, that ring was stolen from the lady in Chelsea, and it's very distinctive in as much as it's a Bayette cut single diamond with 2 triangular diamonds on the shoulders of the ring, which itself is platinum. Very, very expensive.
And the cars that they're stealing, I mean, they're obviously working with somebody who can get rid of high-performance or very expensive vehicles.
That seems to be the case. There's 2 very expensive cars that are still outstanding, no recovery. They must be somewhere.
Descriptions of the men, we've got 2 very good descriptions, at least. Tell us about these guys.
Right, well, the descriptions we've got, obviously you've got to bear in mind that the victims at the time were very, very traumatised. But the descriptions that we have, particularly of the younger male, we believe is very good and is described as being 80%. So we're quite confident that we've got good descriptions of these people.
If there's any way that you think you can help, please do. Remember how savagely someone was injured with this, using a gun as well. Free call us 0500 600 600. That's to the studio, or there are other detectives at the incident room on 01 483 761 991. That's Woking 761 991.
Now, 2 cases being investigated as racial violence. First, cricket celebrations that got out of hand and ended with Pakistani fans launching a violent attack on supporters of the Indian team. This is Green Street Green in Forest Gate, East London, about a month ago after Pakistan had beaten India in the Cricket World Cup. Violence flared and we need to know everyone who was involved. In particular, who is this man wielding the cricket bat? Another man later sprayed CS gas onto the driver of a car. We also want to identify this man seen earlier that evening holding a cricket bat. If you know who any of these men are, 0500 600 600 or the Community Safety Unit in Plaistow on 0171 275 5832. That's 0171 275 5832.
Every day, visitors to London can see the stirring sight of military tradition in Horse Guards Parade. 3 weeks ago, at about noon on a Friday, in what's believed to be another racist attack, a black guardsman was sprayed in the face with a powerful chemical which temporarily blinded him. Now, the 3 men involved, all white with short dark hair, and one was quite tall in a yellow t-shirt. Now, this is an appeal to all tourists. If you have photos or videos taken of the area on the 25th of June, or indeed any other information in relation to this case, please call us here in the studio on 0500 600 600, or you can call the Community Safety Unit in Paddington on 0171 402 1212. That's 0171 402 1212.
Now to Southampton, back in February, and Paul Booth, a young builder and father. On a Friday evening after work, Paul set off to his bank in Totton to draw out £20 and then called in at the Esso garage in Ringwood Road for cigarettes. As he returned to his van, he was attacked on the forecourt, he thought by 3 men, and knocked to the ground, leaving him bleeding from his right ear. Even so, he hauled himself to his feet, got back into his van and drove off to see his girlfriend, who took him to hospital. He left hospital without treatment, but soon complained of dizziness and headaches, and nearly 2 weeks later he was found semi-conscious in his house. He died a month after the attack. The following month, April, the local police received a drawing suggesting what had happened on the night. It seemed to have come from a witness and implied that Paul's car had been blocking access to one of the petrol pumps, to the annoyance of the occupants of a black Mitsubishi Shogun with dark windows. The descriptions given in the drawing are of 3 men. One's at least 6 foot, another 5'8", and the third is 5'6" and heavy set. They're described as builder, tarmac driver or jobber types. So, did you witness these events? Who were the 3 men, and who's the public-spirited person who made this drawing? You are obviously key to the inquiry. Please do call. You've tried to help thus far. 0500 600 600, and incidentally there's a reward of £3,000. The incident room is on 01 703 745 390. That's Southampton 745 390.
As a result of calls to Crimewatch last month, we now know this man's real name is Christopher Shreves, and viewers have told us he's been on quite a tour. Since our last programme, he's been in Lancashire, Liverpool, London and Nottingham, and used the names Williams, Watkins and now Kennedy. This looks very much like him, a man proffering credit cards in a bogus name in Blackpool about 2 weeks ago. Tell us where he is tonight. And this character seems to have been busy too, despite a tremendous response after last month. We called him the polite Cheshire robber because he patiently waits in line before terrorising staff. We know he had a beard in April. Did he shave it off after he saw himself on Crimewatch? Here he is in Wilmslow in Cheshire, less than a week after the programme. He's in his 40s, around 5'8", with dark hair. Where is he tonight?
We've had some pretty good calls, at least on the face of it so far tonight, on the murder of the family in Swansea. The same name has come up a couple of times, and there have been some interesting names from Mandy's past. And in one case, there's been somebody who was in the area, in Swansea at the time, that weekend of the murder, a couple of weeks ago, and has apparently been acting very strangely since. On the armed robberies at Sainsbury's near Guildford, lots of calls from people who said they think they know where those number plates have come from, and a call from someone who says he shared a prison cell with one of the robbers. One of the other interesting things on the Plymouth rapes, we've had two what sound like very good calls from people who think that this man might have done rapes outside the area of Plymouth, and indeed the police say this does look as though it's a quite interesting call, as I say. Now, the crime that most of us will suffer at some time in our lives is burglary. And though the figures are actually going down, that's no consolation when your home is broken into. In the next 3 minutes, you can help. Eric Knowles with PC Jackie Williamson takes us round a church in North Yorkshire that serves as a warehouse for booty that could come from anywhere in Britain. And maybe something here is yours.
There we go.
Thanks, Tony.
Okay, all right. Now, I realise, Jackie, that a lot of this property's come from all over the country, but you've been involved with recovering quite a bit of it, so what have you got?
Yes, let's have a look at this painting if we can, Eric. All these paintings were recovered from a house in the northwest and could have been stolen anywhere.
Oh, that's very well done, isn't it?
It's lovely, isn't it?
Look at the treatment of the
it's beautiful, the lace.
The fabric.
Yes, it's lovely.
What's lurking behind here? I love it's like Christmas. Ooh,
beautiful.
Look at that, yes. I suppose it looks about 1840, and listen, I'm not a picture expert, but looking at a painting like that, I don't think you're going to get any change out of £10,000. What about, now that's a bit weighty, isn't it?
Yes, they're lovely, aren't they? I mean, they really are class. They could have come from anywhere in England or in the British White Isles, or even abroad.
Yeah, I think they probably started off life in Italy or France, but, I mean, what about this girl? If that isn't claimed, what's going to happen to it?
Well, she'll stay here for some time, or quite possibly she will be returned to the suspected thief.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Now, that's a French mermaid.
How can you tell that?
She's got twin tails.
I hadn't noticed that.
Oh, this looks like a good rummage. I do like a good rummage. What have we got? Let's have a look at this girl. Oh! Well, there's a signature I can't read, never mind pronounce, but oh, she seemed better days, but she's lost her strings to a lyre. But I suppose she belongs to the sort of 1920s Art Deco period. Oh, what's down here?
Yes, be careful of the stool.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Well, this is a classic piece of Victoriana, papier-mâché footstool. I've never seen a papier-mâché footstool quite like this before.
Is it inlaid with mother of pearl?
It is mother of pearl, yes. But I think the top is as much the star, isn't it?
It is lovely. Bit too twee for me, but
yeah. Right. Yeah, so you have got furniture, and I see you've got
yes.
a chest.
What would you do that as?
I love these birds. Oh, not just one, but every one of these little drawers has got a bird on it.
And how much?
One, but let's start at around about 4,000. And more paintings?
Yes, certainly. We've got another one here. Detectives are constantly going into houses whereby they see items in the houses which are screaming at them, we don't belong here. And whether they be stolen or property from 2 weeks ago or 10 years ago, we recover them, and we're constantly looking for the owners of the property. Never stop looking for your property, it's out there somewhere.
Eric, there's some quite nice stuff there. If somebody rings and says, hey, that's mine, how do you prove that it is theirs? How do they prove it?
Well, we've got to remember paintings have got signatures and the carvings have been signed as well, and clocks have got makers and silver's got hallmarks. So the important thing is that you make a list of your valuables and your not so valuables, because it's the sentimental things that go which hurt most. But for goodness sake, take photographs, take decent photographs. In fact, take 2 sets of photographs. Don't put your name and address on the back or anything like that. In fact, if you want to do it now and you've got a flash on your camera, do it before you put the cat out, because you think oh, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Don't put it off. Do it as soon as you can.
It's just interesting you're saying not necessarily the most valuable things, but the things that you treasure most.
Well, exactly. What I can say is, if you're 90% sure that what we're showing you is yours, give us a ring and tell us why, and I can assure you the police will do the rest.
Okay, Eric, if you recognise any items that we've shown then, 0500 600 600, and if you've had anything stolen, please contact your local police.
3 or 4 months ago, this man disappeared on the last day of his trial. He was sentenced in his absence to jail for theft and obtaining money by deception. Among other things, he's conned a prominent playwright out of money that was supposed to go to charity. His real name is John Oliver Ely, though he sometimes calls himself John Stewart. He's 5'8", slim, with dark hair going grey. He usually has a fake suntan, is well-spoken and sounds English, though he's originally from Scotland. 0500 600 600 or 0171 221 1212. That's 0171 221 1212.
Now tonight makes a little piece of Crimewatch history. David Hatcher is bowing out. This is his last programme. After 32 years with Kent Police, 15 years with us on Crimewatch, he now has a new job as Area Commander for British Transport Police. And I, Jackie and the rest of the Crimewatch team are going to be sad to see him go. He was one of the founders of Crimewatch. He's been promoted through the ranks and since his first appearance back in 1984. David, have a look at this.
If you can help with any of the items we've mentioned, please call us here at Crimewatch UK.
You don't look a day older, I have to say. He lied, but he's been utterly committed to the programme. He really has throughout all the years, and he still does a huge amount for charity. He's always been considered part of the Crimewatch team. He says he still misses his hair. We'll miss what you've never had to endure on air, his appalling sense of humour. But he says he's now available for bookings. So David, very, very good luck.
Well, Nick, I've really valued my time with the programme. I shall certainly miss the team and all the officers that I've met over the 15 years. But most importantly, I wish the programme continual success for the future, which can only come about through your continued help. So keep those calls coming in. We need all the help we can get. Thank you for the time that I've had with you.
And thank you, David. Well, we'll be taking calls till midnight. Other numbers are on CFAX on page 621. You can email us at crimewatchuk@the.bbc, and on any occasion call Crime Stoppers anonymously if you prefer on 0800 555 111. If you've been a victim and you'd like to talk to someone at the Victim Support Line, there'll be people there until about 2 o'clock in the morning, and the number is 0845 30 30 900. Meanwhile, join us for Crimewatch Update at 11:45 and see how we're doing tonight, and I think we're doing fairly well. If you can't wait up, we're back with a special edition of Crimewatch on August the 10th, cases that viewers have helped to solve. And one thing is for sure, that with all the calls that are coming in, we are doing fairly well tonight, so don't have nightmares, do sleep well. Good night.